I love construction updates, Fresh Baked, and today we've got a lot of them. And we're going to start with Big Thunder, where we have ride vehicle testing. I find this fascinating. Listening to the ride operators make announcements during the test. I spent a good half hour here. Learned that they call the final lift, the one with the explosion, they call that the C lift. Presumably, the first lift would be A lift, and the Goat Hill would be the B lift.
Train is pressing C lift.
And there she is. Not exactly a brisk pace, I think. Doesn't look very fast. And then here she is returning to the station. They're going to send her out again. They sent the trains out, you know, in a loop for a while, actually. I found her again right on cue, rounding the corner here. Otherwise, I looked around and I didn't see a lot of scrim or scaffolding at Big Thunder, so it seems like they're making pretty brisk progress. But still, we shouldn't expect it to reopen soon. Per the Disneyland website, Big Thunder will return on November 5th. We'll stay tuned. Speaking of ride closures, expect Indiana Jones to go down for a brief refurb starting November 8th. My understanding is that this is just routine maintenance, which Indy gets a lot, by the way. This happens all the time. It's not a major problem, nor is it the semi-major refurb that Indy was supposed to get back before the parks closed, and that eventually got canceled. So this is just another routine thing to make sure it's operating well. My expectation is that Indy will be back up before the Christmas season proper begins. Okay, right next door is Tarzan's Treehouse. Last time we reported on this, we were kind of wondering what it was they might be doing, as only that initial tree was under scrim and scaffold. The main attraction area was not. But since then, it's been added all over the tree. The whole tree is covered in scrim and scaffolding. So this is a fairly significant situation, and I've been advised that they are replacing pretty much all of the wood elements. The bridge, rails, stairs, an extensive job, and one that may take a little while to complete, I guess. Well, maybe not too long, because right now the Disneyland website has it returning on October 28th, which would make it a month from now. So, I mean, it's going to be extensive, but it probably not too invasive. It's simple, you know, just replacement of all the wood features. By the way, if you're interested, while we're looking at reopening dates, look for the Main Street Photo Supply, or whatever it winds up becoming, to reopen on Sunday, October 17th. Okay, next stop is New Orleans Square, and we're going to check in on Le Baton Rouge, which has been closed since the parks reopened. And we can officially no longer call it this anymore, Le Baton Rouge. Le Baton Rouge is now more like Le Baton Vert. In other words, it's green now. The short time spent behind the scrim was for this new paint job. The signs, though, are still in the window. But I'll repeat again that do not expect to see this become a dining location. We kind of wondered if that might be the case when the signs came out initially, but I've since been advised, or I've learned, that in spite of what those signs suggest, the expectation still is that it will be another merch shop when it reopens. What kind of merch, I don't know. What it's going to be called or what it's going to look like, I have no idea. But the expectation is merchandise, not food. We'll go next to the Rivers of America to check in on Pelican Landing, and this is where the fun begins when it comes to watching construction progress. Actual, visible progress. Last week, we asked about those wood boxes with the 2x4s on them. We were told they looked like footings in which concrete would be poured, and based on their size and arrangement, they would most likely be used to support something fairly substantial, perhaps maybe that first seating area to be installed. And they were right, as we have our first concrete pour of the season. You can see the 4 boxes are each now filled with concrete. Man, this takes me back. And in between each of those 4 boxes is more concrete. Notice, though, that each one is a little... Oh, there's actually 5. 5 that we can see. And each of those 5 boxes get progressively taller, which suggests to me that they're either trying to level a sloping grade or creating a grade. Most likely something to walk up. My guess is the latter, so probably not a seating area. My guess is this is a ramp of some kind into the seating area. It also looks like whatever it is they're putting together, it curves inward toward the river as the footings grow taller. That's fascinating. Now, I want to go back for a second because we passed something before, and I want to see what's going on over here. They dug a bit of a hole for conduit, probably? Water, maybe? It looks like electrical from here. And look at that. Is that rebar I see? More concrete on the way? I can't wait to see how this goes. And it won't be long. It's supposed to be ready before Christmas. Okay, that's it for Disneyland. And we're going to head for California Adventure next to check in on World of Color. That's not good. That's not good. Expect this to be our view of the World of Color Lagoon for a few months while they work on what I am learning is to be something of an extensive update. I've been advised that Disney is replacing pretty much everything. The lighthouses, lighting instruments, projectors, sound. The only thing not being replaced are the actual fountains. And yes, I did say a few months. We've been told in the past that it wouldn't be until 2022 before we see a return, and our latest intel seems to support that. My guess right now is after the official holiday season is over, which is early January. So maybe late January, maybe early February, something like that. That's best case scenario. So there you go. That's World of Color today. I know it's not exactly the sexiest views of the lagoon, and it's something that I love. I love looking at the lagoon, but less so with all that exposed rigging there. But I will say this, like the view we got of the fountains for Fantasmic last week, this is very impressive to look at. I can't imagine how a human can conceive of this and then build it. Although I guess if you start with one little section and you make that little section work, and then what, you multiply it by 100, I guess, more or less the same rigging repeated all over the bay. But even if that is the case, kudos to the men and women who put all this together. It's very, very impressive, and they make it look simple when the show is actually playing. It's a beautiful show, and all that is because of what we see here. Okay, while we were in the neighborhood, I checked in on the coffee cart that got put behind walls last week. It's still in that condition, but we have a new sign that's being installed. It's under wraps. We can officially say, though, that this update is to make the cart a Joffrey coffee cart. No longer will it sell unbranded coffee. It will now sell Joffrey brand coffee. Now, I've never had Joffrey coffee before, so I don't know how it compares to what they were selling before, or how it compares to, let's say, Starbucks, which Disney also offers at Fiddler, Pfeiffer, and Practical Cafe. Interesting that they've got two different, third-party brands of coffee selling in the park. But anyway, look for the new Joffrey cart to reopen, or to open tomorrow. It's going to open tomorrow, you guys. We're going to be there to get a cup of coffee. Hopefully, you will too. And while I was actually in the neighborhood, I decided I would stop by Paradise Garden, check in on Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta. Still closed. Anyone? Anybody home? No? And we're going to wrap with a fun update from the Hollywood backlot. Last week, these walls were up around the area in front of the PhilharMagic building. I guess then that it was most likely work on the flooring. The walls are down, and best as I can tell, that's about what happened, as I don't really see anything new or obvious otherwise. Looks to me like these tiles here are new, while these tiles are not. possible, I guess, that they could have been doing something underneath, and they had to, they were doing work underneath the concrete. But I can't imagine what. We would see something. We would see a result of that, I would think. So most likely just new tiles. Maybe they're made of vibranium. Okay, that's it, Fresh Baked. Thanks for watching. Follow us on Instagram at _FreshBaked, on Twitter at FreshBakedDisney, and on TikTok at FreshBakedDisney. And if you like our show and would like to show your support, please do consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/freshbaked. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. And Fresh Baked.